All right, another episode of Over the Bar podcast. I didn't even know that was recording for a second. I wasn't totally spacing out there, but
Sneaky.
That's how we start this episode, I guess. All right, Sean. So we had a little hiatus last week. Sean was in Denver. I was behind the bar. Sal was in his own head, and here we are.
Is he ever really in his own head? Is he just
I think
in
he
the
just got
clouds?
lost in there. I think he got lost. I think he completely got lost, and I think he's still lost because he's not here. So, Sal, if you're listening,
Come home.
come home. We need you. Yeah. E.T. phone home. Sal phone home. I think good week of games with the international break here. We do have teams that qualified for the World Cup already. Most of them the big teams. Any surprises from the international break as it wound down last night, actually?
Nothing too wild, really. I mean, Italy, the defending champions of Europe, haven't automatically qualified. They're not out of it yet. They're going into the knockout playoff round, whatever they want to call it.
Yep.
The 10 runners-up of the group stage there, and then the two highest remaining unqualified teams based on the Nations League ranking. That's the other two.
Yeah.
So Italy should have a good enough matchup that they should get through. The same goes for, who is it? Portugal's out.
Yeah. What a game that was.
As it stands right now, they're not in, but yeah, not out.
Yeah, it would be tough to not see those teams in a World Cup. The fact that they didn't qualify yet, to me, is it's a bit of a surprise, but
I learned something
Italy
earlier. Portugal, before Ronaldo, only qualified for 2 World Cups in 75 years.
Yeah.
So they're not a powerhouse.
And he's already qualified for 4, from what I can remember, with him on the squad. So, yeah, definitely.
What should be his final World Cup run.
If you were to pick one team, one of the bigger teams that does have to go through the playoff that would not make the World Cup, that you don't think will make the World Cup, who do you think it is?
We got to refresh this list now and see who we have. Give me a little rundown.
We've got Italy, we've got Portugal, we've got Russia, we've got Scotland. I believe North Macedonia is another team that's in the playoff.
I'm really excited to see North Macedonia.
Austria's another team. I mean, there's some darn good teams out there. Wales is another team.
Portugal, Sweden, Italy, Ukraine, Wales, Scotland, Turkey, Russia, Poland, North Macedonia.
Who out of that, as far as the bigger teams go, who doesn't make it?
Bigger ones? Because, again, of those, at best you're going to get 6 of them.
Yeah.
You don't want to say no to Poland because Lewandowski can just
take over a game, yeah.
Russia, does Russia really count as a big one? I don't know. I'd say Russia, Turkey, Scotland, North Macedonia miss out. You probably get Wales, Ukraine, Italy, Sweden, Portugal. Slip a Poland in there.
If I'm going to take one team that doesn't make it, I'm doing this based off of the quality of opponent they're probably going to end up facing. I'm going to go with Sweden. I don't think Sweden make it. I think if one of the big teams is not going to make it, it's going to be Sweden. Do they have the firepower? Absolutely. They've got more than enough up front to score goals. They've got pretty solid defense. Midfield can run a game.
I don't know that I'd consider them a big boy.
I would, considering look at how well they did. They did qualify or get out of the group stage for the Euros. I think they're a team to watch out for. But I think they come into a buzzsaw. I think they're the one team that I would say, out of the bigger ones that are still left in the playoff, I think they're the one that don't make it.
Yeah, I won't be too shocked if they don't.
Me neither. But given the stature of that team, I think that's something to watch out for. We did have Team USA play, Sean. Team USA did play a few matches since our last show.
Played one quality half.
Yeah, of football.
1 out of 4.
So the Dos Acero,
4 points.
Dos Acero against Mexico again this past week. Good showing, like you said, in that second half. Once your boy Pulisic came on, great attack great attack in that one half. Him, Timothy Weah, he actually looked good against Jamaica the other night. Really, Yunus Musa, I think, is going to be a stud of a player. Very young. I think he's only 17. My God. But
teenager.
This team has a lot of potential. I think if they don't peak at this next World Cup, the one following it is going to be one where I think they can make a good run.
And at less than full strength, taking 3 points against Mexico is massive.
Minus McKennie, minus Robinson.
Minus Gio Reyna.
Yep.
And Pulisic still limited coming back from injury.
And maybe, I'm putting it out there because I think there's a debate to be had, but maybe their second best keeper in net too.
Stefan?
Matt Turner's got a point, man. He's had a hell of a year.
You got to ride the hot hand.
Guy single-handedly almost won you a Gold Cup, So, I think he's the best keeper at the moment. Could that change? Absolutely. I think Zach Stefan's more than capable of taking over the number one reign.
Then you got the classic hangover game against Jamaica following that big result. Not too many changes to the squad, I think, other than
Berhalter Brassard. That's what he does.
3G.
That's what he does. And you're right. It is a hangover game. But now you go back to club play. No games for, 5 months, roughly?
I think late January. I think it wraps up in March.
That's right.
Or maybe, is it March or is it June even when they do the inter-confederation playoff? Where, God forbid, we finish fourth in CONCACAF. And then we have to play, it'd be...
Trinidad and Tobago.
We'd be in a one-off, I'm pretty sure, against either New Zealand. We'd have to play Japan, Australia, Saudi Arabia, or we might get just the real shit end of it and run into like a Uruguay or a Chile or a Colombia or whoever finishes fifth in South America.
That's who we'll get.
It's going to be rough.
That's who we'll get.
Because I'm pretty sure, hopefully two of those, like we play against one of those three federations, and we don't have to go through that as like a semifinal to the final. It's just win that, and we're in.
Yeah.
We draw New Zealand in there.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't know what any of the other thing. I read through the list. Maybe like Solomon Islands, if that's a thing. They're like 140th in the FIFA rankings, where New Zealand's like 110. That Oceania Confederation is not to be feared.
That's who you want to draw.
But then I don't really know how deep you have to go into the rankings to find Jamaica, and we struggled at times against Jamaica.
And the thing about Jamaica is they waited for certain moments to take advantage of. They waited for players to be out of position, especially on the the fullbacks, and trying to go direct lines in between the center backs. So their game plan was spot on,
especially with a veteran like Mikel Antonio. It allows you to really.
Can most teams play like that against us? No, they can't. Leon Bailey and Mikel Antonio ran riot, and thankfully they only got one because they could have had a lot more.
They should have had more.
So USA get through 4 points. Success? I think so.
We're not in panic mode yet, so I guess that's a success.
Canada now top of the group, though. Canada, in my estimation, going into this, was the favorite. Do you think Canada is the team to beat right now? They looked solid last night.
I think them having both matches against Mexico in the book, they don't have to play anybody else that would really be considered a threat, except for a match against the United States. And it's at home, if I'm not mistaken. We have to go into Canada.
Did you catch any of the Jamaican national anthem?
I did not. I was on a flight.
That's right. I think it was. I've never heard it before, so maybe I'm being a little judgmental here, but I thought it was one of the weirdest national anthems. First off, it was very long, and there's no real flow with the song, right? And if you haven't seen it, go watch it from the game. Beautiful voice by whoever was singing. I don't know who the heck she was, but she was great. But Jamaica, it was just kept going out. Like she just kept saying their country name, and I'm like, that's for basically the whole song.
Shakira.
Pretty much same thing. Yeah. Yeah. Weird anthem. I never heard the one before, so it's not very often, you turn on the Olympics and Jamaica's winning medals, other than track and field, really, right? So, yeah. The sprinters, yeah. So yeah, I thought that was weird. Weird
Watch
anthem.
that later.
I do like to, I pick and choose what anthems I like. So I like the Italian one. I think that's one of the best anthems out there. God Save the Queen, though.
Overrated.
God Save the Queen's overrated?
Overrated.
No, please. I think it's the best one.
Overrated.
That is the best anthem out of all anthems.
We beat them in a war, so we didn't have to listen to their song anymore.
That is true. That's factually correct. Yes, I do like Scotland's. I think that's a pretty good one. Good flow. Trying to think of what ones that I watched while I was here this week with some games on. Netherlands, great one.
Some of them do feel like a party. Those are my favorites.
I like those. Yeah, the ones with a good beat and rhythm to it. I like those anthems. Let's get into you got a story you brought up to me that I didn't know until you brought it up.
Yeah, I'm not all that up on what the most trustworthy publications are.
Yep.
Across the pond. So Daily Mail,
it's not the Sun. Don't buy the Sun.
Yeah, it could be worse. So Manchester United reportedly have a wage bill this year of £354 million, translates to roughly 475, almost 480 million US dollars. And that's just player salaries for this year, or maybe for this season.
Does that include transfer fees?
That is not. To my knowledge, that is just their wage bill. Transfer fees, they spent 100 to bring in Sancho. They spent almost £50 million to bring in Varane. Or no, sorry, those are US dollars.
US dollars, yes.
They're just bigger numbers with US dollars. So, makes them look worse because since Fergie retired, they have... We're going to throw out Community Shields. Community Shields are trash.
Not a trophy.
Chelsea wins one. I love it. I won't acknowledge it as a meaningful trophy. It's fun silverware, but
it's a nice little plate.
It's not quite the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Not quite the FA Cup. Not quite Europa League. And Man United, they have...
Is it even Conference League at this point?
Oh, no. But Man United, in the last 8+ seasons without Fergie, they have just one of each of those trophies. The Carabao, the FA Cup, and the Europa League. And as the...
Are you guys doing answer sheets? Or are you guys doing the virtual reading?
We're actually
on the phone.
People, but it's on your phone.
I definitely logo on the back of your computer looks like the Indiana logo.
Well, that was
never off the clock.
Not like we're doing anything fucking in particular over here, right?
Never off the clock here.
Yeah.
Not the trivia crew.
No, we're not the trivia crew. That was probably the highlight of the show.
But we'll say Chelsea in that span.
I don't even know. What were we talking about?
How Man United are grossly underperforming. They've got 3 trophies of note in 8 years. Most clubs would be thrilled with a number like that. But you're Manchester United. You're spending over £350 million just for these players to run around. Not even to bring in more players to run around. Not to pay your manager, who is a gym coach. Look at Chelsea in that span. In that span, they were really... I think they had won the Champions League, technically, after Ferguson's last match.
Yeah.
End of that, I want to say that was it's the season before. So since 2013-14, Chelsea still got last year's Champions League. They have 2 Europas to United's one. They've got 2 Premier League titles in that span. They still have a Carabao. They've got an FA Cup. They aren't short on spending, but they're not lighting money on fire the way that.
Yeah,
And even of those 8 years, I want to say they only finished top 3 times. 5 of those years, they finished outside the top 3. They are not the dynasty that they were in the Fergie
and how many
era.
even outside top 4?
Can't listen to the fans that say they're still mighty Manchester United. Bringing in Ronaldo didn't really solve anything.
They're definitely not. They're definitely not the team they once were. I think we talk about aura around the team, and I think it's kind of plastic now, for lack of a better term. I think that's with a lot of teams. A team like Manchester United, yeah, great history with Fergie, but it's what, like 9 years since Fergie left? I can't remember now.
I think this is year 9 without him.
They've done squat, and to be honest, it's been a lack of pretty much everything: coaching, talent, evaluators. I would even say go as far as ownership. Obviously, not being capable of providing the right options for these guys. I don't think it's correct to basically say that that basically they're four-legged friend over here. That's a cute dog.
New friends.
That dog is easily the best dressed person at this bar, without a doubt.
You're a close second.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Your haircut, by the way. We could just look at that haircut. I mean, that is
not even fresh.
Fantastic looking haircut. I didn't recognize him when he first came in.
It's just a head of hair.
It's a fantastic head of hair.
Just sprinkling a hatless day every now and then.
As the great John Butchergross once says, that's a great head of lettuce you got there. It's a great head of lettuce.
Gucci Mane.
Gucci Mane. Shout out to Gucci if you're listening to the podcast. I do think that the aura around these teams aren't what they once were. Most specifically, United. I don't think they're anywhere near what they are going to be.
Neither of us is going to be upset about that.
No, you can encourage it. I mean, I'm glad. Keep Ale. I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I think, in fact,
they're in 6th place right now.
Yeah, right where they should be.
Going for a second Europa League title since Fergie.
Yeah.
I mean, Ollie, this is, I think, his 3rd full season.
Question. I don't mean to cut you off, but if they don't, yeah, you're right. They are gonna. If they qualify for Europa next year, if they lose in Europa, do they go to the Conference League?
No,
because that's the only one they're going to be able to win.
I don't think they do.
I don't know how it works. I gotta look into that because that's the only trophy they can win.
Similar to the way you're saying. Top 2 in Champions League groups advance to the knockout. 3rd place gets sent down to Europa. It's 3rd place. It's possible. See if I can find anything out real quick.
Yeah, because that would be the only way. If they say they qualify outside the top 4 this year, they get 5th or 6th, something like that.
Yeah, it looks like there's no sending down to the Conference League mid-season.
So maybe if they just finish 8th this year, then or 7th or whatever, then they're going. Or 7th, I think, is a qualifier now for Europa.
I mean, they've got they made the Europa final last year.
Yeah. The other point to bring up, actually, now that we're talking about big teams, all of them being shown on obviously on NBC here in the U.S. Big deal today that went through. NBC is keeping the Premier League to 2028, £2 billion deal going through. So, yay, we get to keep the Premier League on TV. But what does it entail going forward? A lot more streaming service. Sometimes not working out the greatest as it does on TV. So,
if they offer a bulk deal or a long-term contract for Peacock, so instead of paying $5-6 a month, I can just sign me up for the next 7 years. Be done with it.
Yeah.
They got The Office. The other, was it last week?
Halloween Kills was on there.
We were waiting on, I don't even think it was a meaningful match. It was the last one right before the international break. Or no, it was the week before that. Sorry, it was Southampton, Aston Villa on a Friday, beginning that weekend. The Big Lebowski is on Peacock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we had a little over 2 hours until kickoff, and I want to say it's a little under 2 hour run
They
time.
got a pretty decent.
Had a little Big Lebowski day here. It was nice.
They got a decent stuff, decent stuff on Peacock. I like obviously The Office. You're right. The Office is bar none top 5 show of all time, in my opinion.
I enjoy it.
It is fantastic. They've got a lot of good documentaries on there too. I like watching like the history stuff. I'm a history nerd. I like that.
You know, Nat Geo, right?
Yeah, I like Nat Geo. Nat Geo's great.
Why not?
They've got some good stuff. And like I said, movies. I mean, all the Halloween movies are on there. I'm a big Halloween movie nerd, so definitely Peacock. I mean, I like it overall. The thing that I struggle is who is going to do it better. I don't know if I have an answer to that. If
no one's proven themselves able to do it, not even better at the same level.
Yeah,
Paramount Plus, I always seem to have an issue streaming the match. Peacock, at least, I make it beginning to end. I get all the halftime coverage at full quality. The production value is all there.
Yeah.
When you hit midweek for Champions League, maybe there are just too many matches going on at sometimes in that short window that the 4-person crew or the 3-person crew in the studio can't quite touch on everything they want to because they are all big clubs.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as showing 2 or 3 highlights of Brentford versus Norwich at 10:45 a.m.
I just kind of wish they went with more of like I call it the NCAA tournament format, where you have a designated 4 channels, right? And if you're playing more than one game at a time, you can still get them on cable. You can still get them on TV. You know, you still watch the games.
I like having them all available through streaming. But right, to make more of them available on cable, like you said with the NCAA tournament, you get CBS, you get TNT, TBS, True TV.
And look at the ratings for the NCAA tournament. They're through the roof every year because they put every single game is broadcast live. So
you have cable, you can watch every single one of them. And even if you don't have cable, if you just have an internet connection, you can stream them all on the NCAA website.
Yeah, I think that's the way I think they should end up going, but I mean, it's all about money in this game, so
yeah, those players don't get paid.
Yeah. Let's get to our picks. Let's get those down. I don't remember the last week we did picks. I think it was. Did we even do picks in the last show? I don't remember. All right, let's start off with Saturday. Good one to start off the morning. Leicester hosting Chelsea. Your score prediction?
So I do remember the score prediction last week where I said 1-1 Chelsea-Burnley, and that actually happened. That being said, now that I predict the future, I'm going to go 3-0 Chelsea over Leicester because I want it to happen badly. I don't care how much I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I am choosing 3-0, doing my part for the team.
You read my mind. I'm going 2-2. At some point, I think Chelsea's going to get on a run.
Vardy finds a way.
Vardy finds a way. They have to have a dud here or there. I actually thought they played, for the most part, a decent half of football against Burnley. Second half, I thought Chelsea was awful.
I don't know if Lukaku starts, but he has been back in training. He should be fit enough to at least be available off the bench.
And if he is available, he's an immediate factor. Factor. I don't think the center backs for Leicester City can handle him. Not a single one. No offense to Soyuncu, but
not the squad they have out there now. The fitness levels of that back line.
Yeah. Next game here. So I got 2-2. You got 3-0. Next year, one Burnley Palace, 10 a.m. Saturday.
It's a 2-1 Palace.
I'm gonna go 1-1. This one's got draw written all over it. Two teams have been pretty solid defensively for the year. I'll go 1-1. Newcastle Brentford, same time, 10 a.m. Saturday.
Going with the last match, same 2-1 road team wins. Going Brentford over Newcastle.
I want to do the same score. I'm gonna go.
It's a good score.
I'm gonna go 1-0 Brentford. I think Brentford hold them off. Norwich Southampton, 10 a.m. as well.
Poor Canaries. Dean Smith is going to be on the touchline for this one, right? He is actually in charge of training and fully confirmed.
Yep.
Sucks he's going to lose.
Yeah. I got 3-0.
I think 2-0.
2-0.
Maybe they get one.
Speaking of new managers, Stevie G and your father's Villa. What's your father think about the Stevie G news?
I haven't actually talked to him about it.
I want his reaction for the next show, especially considering that he'll be able to have a game under his belt.
Sure, yeah, it might depend at least a little bit on the result from this first match in charge.
Philip Brighton, what do you got?
Home Brighton.
Really?
2-0 Brighton. Villa, I think they'll be safe. It's going to take a few weeks. I think I don't expect Stevie G to hit the ground running. Yeah. The way he did at Rangers. He'll keep them up.
I'm thinking 2-2. I think it's definitely going to be Brighton's going to get their goals, but I'm thinking 2-2. Definitely going 2-2. Next game, actually same time. I forgot there was so many games on Saturday. Watford United.
I'll give this one to United. I'll give them a 3-1.
I'm gonna go 2-1. I'm gonna go 2-1 United. I want to give Watford some credit here.
When you first said 2-1, I thought you were going to say 2-1 Watford.
I want to give Watford a win there, but I can't do it. Wolves West Ham, really interesting game actually. Saturday morning, 10 a.m.
2-2.
It's got a lot of goals into this one.
I think Wolves they've kind of figured it out. They had that real big stumble out of the gate because they weren't bad last season. They were pretty good the year before that. They've been good since they came up. It's like they did just they stalled out last year after the Jimenez injury.
Yeah.
Once they lost that top-tier goal scorer, probably one of the top 5, at least top 10 goal scorers in the Prem the season before that, and you don't really have any viable backup option. He was the really the most valuable player of that team, the person that they could afford to lose, the least of all.
Yeah. What do you got for score?
Deuces. A little selfish too. I don't really want West Ham to climb up any higher than third.
I'm gonna pick West Ham. Actually, I'm gonna pick West Ham 3-1. A lot of goals, I think, in that one. I think Michael Antonio's on fire right now. Wouldn't be surprised if he's involved.
It's that damn Hansel. He's so hot right now.
The last game Saturday, Liverpool hosting Arsenal.
I'm going Gunners.
Wow.
They've been playing well. I said it after the first few weeks. They looked bad.
They haven't played anybody important.
Not lately, no. Their early start, they got beat up pretty good by Chelsea and City and a very passionate upstart Brentford squad on opening day. Since then, I don't think that they've actually lost a match in the Prem.
Do you remember how many goals Arsenal has scored the last 3 matches they've played at Anfield?
No.
1. You know how many Liverpool have scored in that time?
Too many.
10. I think Liverpool run riot. I think
sounds like Liverpool goals have dried up and Arsenal is due.
Go on. I mean, we still scored 2 in our loss to West Ham. Divock Origi provided 1. That should tell you all you need to know. I do think Liverpool win this one. I do think they score a lot. The only thing that concerns me going into the game is the midfield. It looks like Thiago was finally healthy and ready to go. Fabinho's ready to go. Hendo came back injured. Robbo actually came back injured at the left back position. So it looks like Simikov's probably going to get the start. He has yet to allow a goal in any game he's played this year. So that's my big stat. I'm going to throw that one in there. I don't think Arsenal score. I think final score is 3-0. Second straight 3-0 at home for Liverpool. So I'm going with that.
2-1 Gunners.
2-1
Gunners. Aaron Ramsdale makes about 10 saves. 2
hopefully decent matches Sunday. Man City hosting Everton at 9. We like it now. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. I think Rafa Benitez kind of I think they're putting him to the belt sander. They're getting ready. At least I think they are.
City coming out of the international break. I feel like a lot of their players go away on duty, but they don't all necessarily play. And even if they do play, that's them kind of getting minutes and freshening them because they're not getting those minutes at the club.
Yeah,
it's almost working them into form for when they come back from break. They can almost come back in better shape than they left.
True. I do think it's going to end up being a bloodbath in that one. I'm going to go 4-0, actually.
I'm going 3-0.
3-0. Tottenham.
Everton could get one, but
good luck with that. I mean, Tottenham leads.
They got Spurs. Spurs 2-0. Leeds, it's not the same Leeds.
This is my upset.
Is it?
This is my upset. I'm going.
So you're picking Spurs too?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm going Leeds. I'm going Leeds. I'll pick them. I'm gonna probably go with a hefty score because they need to get goals. I think Rafinha's playing fantastic right now. If you were to say on form the last 2 match weeks of the year, who's the best player in the league? I would say it's him.
Rafinha and Rodrigo both been.
Yeah, both been very good. And that Gelhardt kid, the 19-year-old, stud of a player. They got the kid from Wigan. So yeah, I'm gonna go Leeds. I'm gonna go Leeds 2-1. So that's our matches for the week. We don't have a Monday match, do we? Because all the games are pretty much Saturday for the most part. Overall, good international break. Finally getting some freaking Premier League back. I think that's the best part to take away from this week.
We're going to be getting a lot of it in this next month and a half.
Most exciting time of the year, man. All right, so I will see you. Are we taking off the Thanksgiving break here?
I mean, I could record day before Thanksgiving. I can do it next week.
That. Let's do that.
Thanksgiving Day, I got a few things to make, so I won't be here.
Same. We'll go over our Thanksgiving platters per se next show. I've got a couple. We're also going to play a game next show. We're going to do turkey or pilgrim. To figure out what that is. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening to Over the Bar podcast. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.